Hi everybody, hope you're all doing well today. Since you've probably noticed I'm wearing my blacks, guess what? It's Hamlet Day! And you may be thinking to yourself, Mr. G, it's Thursday. At least when you're recording this, it's Thursday, so why are you wearing black? I thought we did Hamlet on Fridays. Yes, that's true. Normally we would do Hamlet on Fridays, but this week, given that Friday, April the 10th, is Good Friday, I'm taking a break from these to give myself a little 3-day weekend because of the holiday, and so today we're doing Hamlet on Thursday. And today we're going to focus on a character we haven't looked at yet by the name of Polonius. As always, take a look in the description below for the monologue. Take a moment to pause me, read it, come on back. So, Polonius is advisor to the king. He is the father of the girl Hamlet has a crush on, and he's also father of the guy that eventually will fight Hamlet later on in the show, and we probably will visit Laertes at some point. But the big thing to know about Polonius is he loves to hear himself talk. He is very confident in what he believes and what he thinks is right, so when he has an idea, of course, it has to be correct. That's kind of how he is. And the monologue in question is in Act 1, Scene 3, so from a literary standpoint, it's very early on, we're still introducing things. Act 1 in any play is going to be really a lot of introduction. The first few scenes of any play are always going to be introduction to characters, to events. As we looked at with the ghost speech last Friday, that speech, again, is a huge turning point for the play because it kind of springs everything forward, and that was Act 1, Scene 5. Now, Act 1, Scene 3 is our first real introduction to Polonius, Laertes, and Ophelia, who are very important people for the whole play. We get a little bit of the relationship between Laertes and Ophelia, who are brother and sister, and we see the relationship between Polonius and both his children, and we get an opportunity to see Polonius as he is as a character. So this monologue is very much a character piece. It tells us a lot about who Polonius is. And, again, he's long-winded. One of the things that's really important to know about this is the first thing that happens when he comes in is he says, Laertes, what are you still doing here? The ship that's supposed to take you to France is waiting on you. So you better hurry. After I spend another 3 minutes giving you advice. Yeah, so he's kind of contradictory in that manner where he's like, you should go, 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 go. But wait for me to finish speaking first. And then when he speaks, he gives a lot of advice that sounds good on the surface. He's, like, hey, don't get into fights. But if you do get into one, kick their butt. And, don't talk about your thoughts, but let other people tell you theirs. Essentially, he's telling him one thing for when it's dealing with other people, but another thing for when it's dealing with himself. The best example of this is probably, give every man thine ear, but few thy voice. Basically, listen to everybody, talk to no one. Or, take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Meaning, if somebody criticizes you, take it, and get into it and, think about it and use that to better yourselves, but don't criticize anyone else. So some of these things, he's like, you should do all these things, but then not do them to other people. And then he drops the bomb on the end of all of this, and this is a phrase we actually still use today, to thine own self be true. So basically Polonius has gone on a 3-minute long diatribe about doing all these things and being a proper person, only to say, but if you think that you need to go your own way and do something your way, do it because you should be true to yourself. Thanks, Polonius. That's time we won't get back. Thanks. But that tells us everything we need to know about Polonius as a character, because this is who he is. He talks and talks and talks and talks, and several times during the course of the play, people call him out on it. So that's it from a literary standpoint. It's really all about building the character. And again, since this is one of our first introductions to Polonius as an actor, we get to play around with that. we get to play around with how self-important he is to himself, and making sure that we show the audience that that's what he thinks about himself. So, we're going to take a look at it. Yet here, Laertes, aboard, for shame! The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee. Oh, and these few precepts in thy memory look thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried. Grapple them unto thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledg'd comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thine ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are most select and generous, chief in that neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the day the night. Thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee. And there we have Polonius. Tune in next Monday. We'll be back with another video. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you then. Bye.